Today we're going to talk about something that gets talked about all the time, but somehow not enough, and that's ski boots. Obviously, with ski boots, there's a million different things that you can consider, including the width of the boot, the flex of the boot, which are our two main criteria today, but also instep height, whether it's boa or buckle, whether it's, I don't know, a really high toe box. There's a million things to consider. Forward lean angles, all of these things are really important when it comes to a ski boot, and we always recommend you go and see a boot fitter that actually knows what they're doing so they can help you get into the right boot. But the keys and where you need to start is flex and width. Width, you're gonna see marked on the boot. These are really the only two segments of numbers that really matter. Width is all about forefoot width. So when you see something called last on a ski boot box, they're talking about how wide the boot is in the forefoot. And different companies measure from different points. So not all 103 millimeter lasted boots are the same. And that's exactly how you'll see it phrased is 103 millimeter last, 98 millimeter last, just like that on the boot or on the box. When you're looking at these things, it's important to know what the range is because 103 could be really big or it could be really small. We have no idea without any context. So for context, a 92 to a 95 is like your really, really narrow race boot. 96 to a 98-ish, you're talking about a low volume boot. 99 to 101, you're in that mid volume category. 102 to 104, you're in that high volume category. And bigger than that, you're just talking about essentially a bucket, like just something to put your foot into. So those are kind of the keys when it comes to boot width. Now, where your foot is wide may be different than with someone else. So it's important to actually get that aspect of it either measured or have a good idea of what your foot shape is like before purchasing a boot. The next thing is flex. Flex is like my least favorite thing to talk about because one, they're all completely different between boot brands and even between models. Like this Cortex 120 is way stiffer than a BFC 120 and it's not even close, but the flex ratings are exactly the same. So what does flex mean? Basically, it's your indicator for how stiff a boot is going to be within a boot line. The cushier, more recreational the boot is designed to be, the more that boot will be much softer and easier to flex into. So taking into account that they're all a little bit different, it's important to know that flex is based off of your height, your weight, and your ability. What you need may be very different. A beginner skier doesn't always need a 70 flex, but that's typically what you'll see them set up as. So keep all of that stuff in mind as you go into your boot buying process because it's really important because you might end up in this boot when you really need this boot.